Well, hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. How does this rainy day find all of you? Well, we're doing great here at the Crazy Train of Frauditing, and I just wanted to let you all know that I have been taking a huge beating from Johnny Boy Philax, and other frauditeurs, of course, and his dense brain followers, just like I had predicted would happen. This is what happens when pure hypocrites get exposed, because as I've said before, over 120 times in other videos, accountability and transparency is not what these guys really want for themselves. I do have to hand it to Johnny Boy, though, that when he says he's an open book, he's being honest, he's telling the truth. He'll give out all of his own information, he doesn't care. So, I wish I personally didn't have to worry about myself and my wife or my extended family. Then I could be such an open book too. But 37 years of locking people up, some will get mad enough to look you up, to stalk you, and to actually go out and find you. And I'm retired now. I want to be able to relax. I don't want to have to be able to, or have to look over my shoulder every time I'm out of the house. So fuck all those frauditeurs that want my personal information, want me to live debate so then they have my photo and they can trace my IP address. Y'all are funny as fuck if you think that's what's gonna happen. So old Johnny Boy Philax was so butthurt over my video that he had an 1 hour and 54-minute live stream where he, air quotes, debunks every single statement, one by one, that I had supposedly made in my video of him. Now let me save you the time of watching it. Johnny Boy spends a 1 hour and 54 minutes admitting to every single thing I put in my video. Every single thing he admitted to. All while trying to make excuses for each of his transgressions and then calling me a liar? What? That makes no sense. How the hell does that work, Johnny Boy? So Johnny Boy wants me to have a live debate with him. For what? So he can lie throughout the live debate, call me names, run down the police profession, and then claim he won at the end of the debate like he did with Frauditor Troll on a live debate? Well, that's just not going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So get this. Then the hypocrite frauditard named Auditing Mabton, Christopher Robin Dinglenuts. Oh, look. He'd brought a new life into this world, and instead of getting a real job, this loser is e-begging on YouTube for money to support his child that he made. You can't make this shit up, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, Chrissy Boy has challenged me to a live debate. What? This is a guy who still won't answer two very easy questions. One, why did you privacy strike my video if you're all for transparency and accountability? And number two, why did you get out of the Army after only 2 years and 7 months? Ladies and gentlemen, Auditing Mabton will not answer those two simple questions. So why should I waste my time going on a live debate with someone who won't answer my questions? That reminds me, why has it been so long since I haven't heard on his military records that I had sent in for? I guess I'll have to check into that later. And then check this out. We have a comment from BZ Watchdog. So as you can see right here, his comment says, I am looking into your history since you think you can dox everyone. I don't dox anybody, BZ. You know what I do? I expose them. I expose them for the frauds that they are, which is what I'm going to do to you in the next week or two. I'm going to expose you for the fraud that you are. And then I tried to get BZ to answer one easy question. Why were you in the Marines for only 2.5 years? And BZ writes back right here, he says, who says I was only in for 2.5 years? And I wrote back, just answer the question. Were you in longer? And of course, we have crickets now because BZ won't answer the question of why he was only in for 2.5 years, which you can see right here. And actually, if you look at this, he wasn't even in for 2.5 years. He was only in for 2 years and 5 months. But again, transparency, accountability, they want everyone else to have that, but not themselves. Again, ladies and gentlemen, crickets. Haven't heard a word back from them after that. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, let's talk about our next victim to be exposed on the crazy train of frauding. We have Mendocino Copwatch, who is also known as Aaron Wayne Dinglenuts from Ukiah, California. Now, Lucid Lair or Dreams, I can't remember what she calls her channel, did a video on the Mendocino County Copwatch about a week ago. This guy, oh my God, when she says that he's dumb, he has no clue what he's talking about. It's oh my God. Just go and watch the video on Lucid's channel for an example of stupidity, because you're not going to be sad that you did, or what's the word I'm looking for? You're not going to be disappointed that you did. So Lucid also emailed me a couple of days ago, probably 3 or 4 now, with an identity for the channel Mendocino Copwatch, which was 100% on the money. That woman is good at finding people too. I don't know how she does it, but I know how I do it. So anyways, I took a look into Aaron Wayne Dinglenuts, and yes, folks, he has a criminal past. Are you shocked? Well, you may be shocked at some of the charges. Yeah, I didn't think you were going to be so shocked. So we have another First Amendment freedom fighter fraud who's a criminal masquerading around as a First Amendment journalist. So what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We have 23 vehicle and traffic charges, which we're not going to go over because there's so many of them, and in the interest of time, I'll just show them here. You can stop the screen if you wanted to read them all or whatever. And we also have 9 criminal charges, including 3 domestic violences. One of them actually started out, well, I'll talk about that when we talk about the charges. And he has 10 civil cases. 10! My God! I don't have that many in my whole life, and this guy's 20 years younger than I am. Jesus Christ. Anyways, he's got child support, legal separation, divorce, credit card debt. Yes, folks, just another upstanding citizen that we are misunderstanding. Not. No way. So let's take a look into the past of the Mendocino Copwatch. All right, so as I said earlier, he's got 23 vehicle and traffic violations, charges, citations, however you want to put it, starting back in March of 2010, as you can see, for driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And it goes through, all of these are from Mendocino County, California. And as you can see, a lot of these get dismissed. And the ones that don't get dismissed, he doesn't bother paying the fines for. Like this one up here on April 12th, 2024. It was a lousy $100 fine. By the time it got sent to collections, it was $1,328. But you know what? He don't care, because he ain't going to pay it. So... all right, so all 23 of them on those 2 pages there, and one more down here. All right, let's start out with his criminal history here. And on April 2nd, 2019, he's arrested for a domestic violence incident. And we've got a battery charge, which was a misdemeanor. We've got to violate a court order, which was a misdemeanor, and preventing a witness or victim from reporting a crime, which was also a misdemeanor. All of those out of Mendocino County, California. And he pled no contest to count 1. He pled guilty to count 2. And count 3 was dismissed in the plea deal. So he pled no contest to battery. He pled guilty to violating a court order, and he was sentenced to 18 days in jail. Now, on November 5th, 2019, there was a 6-month review on the case. And we're going to go all the way forward to May 3rd, 2021. He filed a motion to dismiss this conviction. And then there's nothing further. I don't know if that was because, at the height of COVID there, 2021, they decided not to hear the case. There's nothing after that. Then we're going to go ahead to another domestic violence charge on June 6, 2019. We've got vandalism, $400 or more, which is a felony. Vandalism for $400 or more, which they made a misdemeanor. So I'm not quite understanding why one was a felony and one was a misdemeanor. Maybe it had to do with what got broke. I don't know. I can't tell you California law unless I go and read it, and I didn't want to spend that much time on this one piece of shit. And then lastly, we've got corporal injury to a spouse, which was a misdemeanor. And get this, we pled no contest to count 1, so he is a convicted felon. And he pled guilty to counts 2 and 3. He ended up getting 180 days in jail. He ended up on 3 years of probation. He got a lifetime ban of firearms. Criminal protective order for domestic violence was issued to Aaron Wayne Dinglenuts for Brittany, and he had to complete a domestic violence batterers program. And then we go ahead to August 11th, 2020, and there was a probation violation put in by his probation officer for failing to provide urinalysis samples. They gave him like 3 or 4 chances from reading the case to do it, and he didn't do it. And the probation officer actually gave him a chance and said they didn't want to put him in jail. They just wanted to sanction him because he was really close to completing the batterers program, and they thought other than those drug samples, he was kind of doing okay. So that's what the judge went with. So he got a violation, but they didn't do anything to him other than, I believe, they may have restarted his probation at that time in 2020. So now we're going to go ahead to another case of domestic violence. And on June 19th, 2019, he's charged with violating a court order of protection out of Mendocino County, contempt of court, and possession of a controlled substance. All 3 of those charges were dismissed for a plea agreement in the previous case where he got 180 days in jail and ended up on 3 years probation. Now we're going to go into 10 different civil cases. 2011, he was taken in by the Department of Child Support on behalf of Jennifer, and a judgment was stipulated for child support, and they did not give a how much it was for or anything like that. Now, 3 years later, in 2014, the Department of Child Support takes him back into court again, this time on behalf of Brittany, and that ended up getting dismissed at Brittany's request before the hearing. 2 years later, on March 17th, 2016, Brittany sued Aaron in court for a legal separation with minor children, and that was dismissed for lack of prosecution because Brittany never showed up in court. Go ahead 6 months to June 6th, 2016. Department of Child Support Services takes Aaron into Mendocino County Court again. This time, Aaron was able to show, I even looked at the document, Aaron was able to show that the children and Brittany lived with him, and that he was the one giving all of their care, so they dismissed that. And on May 3rd, 2023, an order of support was filed in Butte County, California, and that came from this case here. And we're going to go ahead to June 11th, 2019. Brittany sued Aaron in court for dissolution of marriage with minor children. At that time, an order of protection was issued against Aaron for Brittany, and that case ended up being dismissed due to lack of prosecution. I don't know if Brittany and Aaron are divorced at this time or not, but she's not, it doesn't look like she's living with him. Looks like she's living somewhere else. August of 2019, Citibank sued Aaron for their money, and that ended up being dismissed before trial. It did not say that there was like an agreement between Aaron and Citibank. It just said that it was dismissed before trial at the request of Citibank. And then we go ahead to December 13th, 2019. Citibank sued Aaron again, and this one was also dismissed before trial at the request of Citibank. Now, go ahead 3 years to September 15th, 2022. Cavalry SPV1 is suing Aaron in Mendocino Court, and there was a judgment for the plaintiff for $4,210. Shall we go ahead now 2 months to November of 2022? Cavalry SPV sued Aaron again, and this time the attorneys for the plaintiff requested a dismissal. And on April 17th, 2023, Mendocino County against Aaron, an order of support was ordered. Actually, it wasn't ordered. Let me correct myself here. It ended up being sent to Butte County. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If I call it Butte, everybody will tell me I'm wrong. If I call it Butte, everybody will tell me I'm wrong. So I can't win either way, so I'll just say Butte, because I think it's Butte County, Idaho or something like that, isn't it? Anyways, that case was over because the child was over age. So all of the money, according to the court order, any money for arrears had to be paid to the other parent. I almost think that was Jennifer, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and look again. Anyways, we got our header here, Mendocino County Copwatch. That's Aaron Wayne Dinglenuts. He was born in July of 1988. He's living in Mendocino Gardens in Ukiah, California. I'll block out his address there so we don't get a privacy strike. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4 email addresses for him that I have to block out because that's against YouTube's rules also for privacy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one more frauditard that's exposed for who he really is and why he really goes out and frauds. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you liked it enough that you would hit the thumbs up button to let us know and to help out that algorithm that's out there that I never see and don't know what it is. And oh well. Anyways, if you're a guest here today, just checking out the video, I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. Just hit that subscribe button and then the bell so that you will see all of the future content as it comes out. You'll get a notification letting you know that we put out another video exposing another frauditard. We're a small channel that grows every day by exposing these criminals and why they really go out and videotape while they're harassing public employees, private employees, common citizens, restaurants, banks, parks, DMVs, freaking clothing stores, anything just to go out and harass their fellow human being. Now, the the Officer Down Memorial page has updated, and it is now showing us that 25 law enforcement officers have lost their lives in the line of duty so far this year. Now, even though that's a lot lower than this time last year, when can we have a year of 0 law enforcement deaths while on duty? Hopefully, someday that will be a reality. The bluehelp.org website is telling us that 2 more law enforcement officers have taken their own lives in the past 5 days, for a total of 34 so far this year. So that's it for Mendocino County Copwatch. Aaron Wayne Dinglenuts from Ukiah, California, who seems to be have a major problem with women. So just another one to add to the list, eh, folks? Well, I wish you all a great day, a great evening, and a great night. And until next time, y'all take care out there now.